Welcome back to Your Darts and thanks again for joining me. Let me show you how to practice some more dart checkouts. So here we go again, learning some more dart checkouts, right? Who doesn't need to practice though? Let's face it. Okay, so we've got a big number, 153. And by the way, these slides, like all the slides, will be in the description box below. You can actually just print out and practice them, use them as practice aids. Okay, anyway, we're on 153. Let's talk about it. So the first dart, what's the first dart you're going to do? You're going to throw at treble 20 whenever possible. I recommend you do that. And whenever we throw in treble 20, we use the rule of 40, which is my little formula, easy formula. Add 40 onto the last two digits. In this case, we're adding 40 onto 53 and it reveals 93. So it's treble 20 leaving 93. That's the way to look at this, and you get 2 points if you want to play the game. Now, we're on our second dart. We're on 93. How do you throw 93? So this is why you need to know your two dart finishes. So treble 19 for double 18. That's how you take out 93, and again you get 2 points. Now, what's the miss rule? So we're going for treble, in this case treble 19. We will miss that treble and hit the big number, just like if we're going for treble 20, we'd miss treble 20 and hopefully we hit the big number, not either side of it, because of course you can do that, but hey, you know, you can only practice for so much, right? And that's what I call the miss rule. Hitting the big number, missing that treble. Okay, so we've missed the treble 19, hit the big 19, it would leave 74, and you get a point if you can answer that pretty quick. Okay, and this is, I suppose this is what it's. If you are playing with an opponent, if they're thinking and add it up on the fingers, they don't know the answer. Okay, so it's all about if it's a quick response. Now, if you want extra points, because this is all about practicing, how else can you take out 74? Treble 14, double 16, it's quite popular. And I like treble 18 for double 10. Okay, and you get 3 points if you get those correct. Now, is there any alternate finishes? Yes, why not? So if you are a strict to 19s player, I know some people who will just love the treble 19. They don't go to the top of the board unless they have to. And of course they have to. But so 153, we can go treble 19. But instead of adding 40 on, we just got to add that 43 on. Add that 3 more on. So add 40 on, so 93. Add that 3 more on. 96. So it's treble 19 leaving 96, and then you state how you take out 96. Treble 20, double 18, and there's just a point there if you get that right. So that's number 153. So on to our next number of 129. Now our first dart, so the first treble you're going to throw at, there's an advantage of going treble 19s and there's an advantage of going the treble 20 route, which we're going to talk about straight away so you can see it. So we're going to go treble 19. This is the best way to do it. And the reason why it's the best way to do it, in my opinion, especially when you're starting out, the miss rule helps me decide that I'm going to go for treble 19 for this. Let me explain. So when we're throwing treble 19, we have to visualize 43, not 40 on. Okay, but I always say just visualize your 40 on it because it's easier to do that. Okay, it would be 69, and of course you've got to add that 3 more on and it would leave 72. So it would be treble 19 leaving 72. Now we'll get into how to take out 72 out in just a moment. Okay, now the advantage of going treble 19 is the miss rule coming into play here. So we miss the treble 19 or assume we may well do that, hit the big 19, so hit the big number, you still, to take 19 off 29, it still leaves 110. It's still a 2 dart finish, treble 20 bullseye. Okay, so there's an advantage going the 19s because the most common thing what will happen, the miss rule, is still get a 2 dart finish. Now if you start with treble 20s, let's come down here. So we throw in treble 20, we don't add 43, we just add 40 on. I'm sure you get the hang of that now. So 40 on to 29 is 69, so it would leave 69. And that's great, and it's an advantage hitting that treble because then you don't need to get another treble. 69 at the very minimum, you should get bullseye, right? 69 is treble 19 double 6. That's kind of the official way to do it, but really you're assuming you may well hit that single 19, which will then leave you 50, so shot out a bullseye. Okay, I'm sure you get what I mean there. But the disadvantage comes here when the miss rule comes into play here. So we're going for treble 20, we miss treble 20 and hit 20, take 20 off 129, it would leave 109, and you've got 2 darts left. Well, you can't take 109 out with 2 darts, where up here when we went for the treble 19s and the miss rule came into play, then we still got that second chance. Okay, and I'm kind of waffling a bit, but I think you get the idea. So it's a lot better to go the treble 19s. You see the pros still do it, even though they're more likely to hit that treble, right? Because they're you know, obviously the pros. Come on. And but I just think it's a better way to do it for 129. Go for your treble 19, because if you hit that single 19, you've still got your 2 dart out. Where if you did go for the treble 20 and you hit that single 20, you're on 1 or 9 and you can't check out. You can only set up your finish. Okay. Anyway, so I think that's covered that. So let's continue. So we've gone for treble 19. We're assuming we hit it, and it leaves 72. Now, how do you take? What's your second dart? How do you take out 72? Now, there's 2 ways I know, and I'll explain the alternate finish in a moment. I think the alternate finish is probably one of the most common ways to do it, but I prefer to go this way. Treble 12. Okay, it's actually first dart indicator. If you don't know what I mean by that, I might talk about that in another video. But treble 12 for double 18. Now, of course, you'll only go this way if you like double 18. You're not going to do that if you're a left side of the board person. But I like it because if you miss that treble 12 and hit the big 12, it leaves 60. So a really easy number for me to work out instantly. And I like 60. I like the top of the board. Okay, so you're going to go where you're strong. Okay, and of course you get these points here. Now, with 60, how do you take out 60? This is one of the easiest ones, easiest 2 points ever. Single 20 for double 20. Now, again, 2 points, easy 2 points. Okay, now alternate finishes. Most people are going to go for 72. They're going to go treble 16 for double 12. Hitting the big 16 would leave 56. They're generally going to do that. But, you know, I'm going to promote what I prefer, and I like treble 12 for double 18. And of course, you get 2 points if you get those right. So that's number 129. Quite an interesting 3-digit number there. I like it. Number 127 is the first start. We're going to go back to our 20s because we're comfortable on the 20s, or we should be. So treble 20, and we have to do the rule of 40. We're adding 40 on to 27, 67. So it's treble 20, leaving 67. And then on your second dart, how do you take out 67? Now 67 from 61 all the way to 69. This is what I like to call a first dart indicator, the number itself. So the right part of it, this 7 part of it, indicates the first dart you're going to throw out. Okay, I've shown you that before in other videos. If you have seen my videos from the beginning, you kind of know what I mean, maybe. So treble 17, okay, 7 treble 17 for double 8. I hope that makes sense. Okay, that's just how I teach these finishes. Treble 17, double 8. Why do we go that way? Because the miss rule, and also double 8's a common double, right? But if we miss that treble 17, hit the big 17, it leaves 50. There's certain ways, there's reasons why we do that, so we get that second shot, or we get that rock star finish at bullseye. And then of course, all the ways you can take out bull, you can just go straight for bullseye, or you can set it up a single 18 for double 16, a treble 10 for double 10, because if you miss that treble 10, hit the big 10, it leaves 40, so top of the board. That's my favorite way. Or a single 14 for double 18. Okay, those are the most common ways, if not the only ways really I know how to take out 50. So you get 5 points there. Woo, 5 points. Okay, any alternate finishes? 127. So again, if you're a strict 19s player, you can do the same thing. We're just not adding 40, we're adding 43 on. So it's treble 19, add 3 more on to 67, and you have 70 rather, don't you? So it's treble 19, leaving 70. And then if you've got 2 darts left, the only way really you should go is treble 20, double 5. Because again, if you miss that treble 20, this misrule, this important misrule, miss that treble 20, hit the big 20, it leaves you that 50, that shot out of bullseye. Okay, but the other way is you can take out 70, treble 10, double top, double 20. Okay, one of my favorites. And another common one is treble 18 for double 8, missing the 18, hitting the big, missing the treble 18, hitting the big 18 would leave 52. Always know what your misrule is on your finishes. Okay, and you get 3 points there if you get that right. So that's number 127. Also, another additional point here, going the treble 20 for the very first dart. It's a benefit because if we, again, the misrule, such an influential part of practice, of influencing how you go, okay? Miss the treble 20, hit the big 20, take 20 off 127, it leaves 107, right? And again, if you know your 2 dart finishes, that's treble 19 because it's 57, and you need another 50 to make 107, so treble 19, bullseye, and you get your 2 dart checkout of 107. So that's why we also go treble 20 for 127. So on to the last number of the day, number 112. First dart we're going to throw it is treble 20, go back to a home base, okay, and we have to add on our rule of 40. 40 onto 12 is 52, okay, so it's treble 20 leaving 52, and you get 2 points there. Now our second dart, how do you take out 52? It's as simple as that. A lot of people are just going to go for a single 20 for double 16. So there's no misroll in this one because we're not missing a treble because we're aiming for the single 20. If you want to write something in that box, feel free. Okay, so alternate finishes on 112. Again, if you love to go for the treble 19s, and I know there's people out there who like to do that. So you just add, so we've added 40 on up to now and leaving 52. You just need to add that 3 bar on because it's treble 19 and it would leave 55. So treble 19 leaving 55. And then you take out 55 however you want to, a single 19 for double 18. Now, if you remember, I have shown you previously tiny little formulas if you find it hard to work out what that single number you need before you go for your double 18 in this case. Okay, so if you have 55, just want to share it and remind everyone again, you just plus 4 onto the last number. So I'm putting 4 onto 5 is 9, but because it's a big number, 55, okay, and double 18 is 36, okay, we can't just add 9, we have to add 19. So that's the only thing. And with a little bit of practice, you'll really get what I mean. But it's a single 19, as we've got here, for double 18. That's how I remember it. I still do it now. I just add that 4 on, and I just go 19, double 18. Anyway, I digress. So another way to take out 55, single 15, double 20. Easy peasy to work that out. Also 52 up here, alternates for this. Single 16 for double 18. So we're doing the same thing as we've done here. Okay, so 52. I mean, everyone's going to go really single 20 for double 16, but if you love the 18s, and I know there's people out there who do, again, just plus 4 onto the 2 is 6, so it's going to be 16 double 18, as we've got here. That's how we come to it. If that's the first time hearing this, drop me a message, let me know. But anyway, let me know if it makes sense as well. But anyway, so another way to take off 52, single 12, double 20. Again, my always preferred route, going to the top of the board. And you get 4 points there if you get that right. Anyway, so that covers this video today. I think that's number 112. So thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate all the people who do stick with me and watch these videos. And I hope I'm teaching you bit by bit how to check out in darts. It's not that hard. It seems it. And it was when I started to do this. But hopefully I broke it down for you and helping people out there. Cheers. Take care for now.